Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. I spent the last few days trying to work out how to capture Raging Brachydios. And to be honest with you, the end result was a little bit underwhelming, no crazy rewards or anything, but I wasted my whole weekend on this, so goddammit, I'm turning it into content. The first thing I tried was obviously just placing traps in the field, but as I'm sure you're aware, that does not work. So naturally, my second attempt was to place the traps before Brachydios changes the area. But again, it does not work. When Raging Brachy punches the ground for the last time, it actually destroys all traps that are active in that final area. I got a tip in a comment from Gavin. Unfortunately, I can't find it, so sorry about that. But he told me to try the Palico traps. Now, personally, I hate the Palico traps. They barely last any time at all, and there's this huge delay between telling the cat to place it and it actually being placed and active. But, you know, maybe the developers just sort of forgot to block cat traps. So I thought, you know, what's the harm? I might as well try it. I did try it, both before the area conversion, as you can see, and after it, and in both cases it doesn't work. In the latter case, the cat just straight up refuses to place any traps down. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see it's responding in the negative, saying it can't get a pull free. That said, if I try the flashfly cage, it complies immediately, so it's definitely specifically the trap that doesn't work. Now, my flashfly was only at level 10, so I thought, you know, a cheeky little training montage, get it up to level 15, and maybe unlock a super mega trap that actually works somehow. Unfortunately, 10-15 minutes later, it basically made no progress at all, so I just gave up and googled what the unlock is. Turns out it's just some stagger garbage with nothing useful for trapping, so I just completely gave up on it. I'm not even sure why I'm including it now, to be honest. Actually, cons, cut this. It seemed like all hope was lost, and to be honest, I was ready to throw in the towel. But if we think back to what we've tried so far, there's actually a little bit of a loophole. See, we are unable to use the input that places traps down, either ourselves or via the cat, once the field had changed after Brachy had punched it. And any traps that were already out on the field got destroyed at that time. So I can't press the button to place a trap after the field change, and I can't have any traps active before the field change. If only there was some way to send the command before Brachy punched the ground, but only have the trap placed after the field changed itself. Maybe some sort of annoying delayed trap placement technique. I hate the Palico traps. They barely last any time at all, and there's this huge delay between telling the cat to place it and it actually being placed and active. I hate the Palico traps, and there's this huge delay. I hate the Palico traps, and there's this huge delay. I hate the Palico traps. Dental plan! Wait a second. And so, by giving the command to the cat just before the field changes, as Brachy is punching it before the final punch, the input goes through successfully, but because of the delay in placing the trap, by the time the cat actually places it, the field change has already occurred and previously existing traps have already been destroyed, and so the trap goes down successfully. The timing isn't too tight, but it's not exactly trivial either. And so now, armed with this new knowledge, I set out to capture this big boy. As you can see, I've tranked the Brachy and everything is good to go, so here is the moment of truth. Ah, fuck. You can't tell the cat to place its trap while you're tremored. Okay, well, that was 20 minutes of my day wasted. I will see you in a second. Okay. So this time everything has been going according to Keikaku. In fact, if I sleep it early enough and I get in some damage, I actually have a trap nearby already, so I might just be able to trap it straight away without any of this weird cat nonsense. So let's give that a shot. Ah, shoot. Okay, it's not ready. No big deal. Wait, no, it's not ready. No, it's not ready! Cat! Cat, get over here, please! I'm peeking! Teleport to me, you fucking piece of shit! If you put the trap there, it'll be wasted. Oh, God. Why? Cat? Why? Oh. Okay, so this is obviously an issue. Brachy is not in capturable range when it enters its final phase. Luckily, the solution to that is fairly simple. Just place the trap out of the way in a corner somewhere and fight Brachy far away from it on the other side of the map, and only take it to the trap when you're ready to capture it. It's not entirely easy because of how massive Brachy is and how much its weird ass moves just sort of fling it all over the map, but it's doable at least. There is a more pressing issue, however. If you take a look at the clip, Brachy spends approximately 0 seconds inside the trap, which means it will be extremely difficult to trank it once it has been trapped. I'm sure the more veteran players amongst you will already know the answer to this, but I need to drag this garbage content out for as long as possible. I did waste my weekend on it after all. Plus, I know this long, slow build-up really gets those juices flowing. Okay, I'm only kidding. The trick is just that tranks work like any other status in the game. Whether or not the monster is trapped, throwing a trank will apply the tranquilized status to it, just like throwing a poison smoke bomb would. And if you've applied enough of the trank status, either before or after you've started the trap, the moment the monster is in a trap and it's reached this trank threshold, it will be captured. Hopefully you're seeing this on screen now if I've done my job as a video editor. There is a catch, however, and to properly understand it, we're going to have to go into spreadsheet town. Nah, don't worry, I'm only kidding. I can demonstrate this with a fairly simple experiment, no maths needed. Here is a normal capture using this technique. What this means for tranquilizers is that we need to get it into the trap as soon as possible after actually throwing our tranquilizers down. So now we have a plan of action. We do as much damage as we can, get Brachydios to its final area, but don't aggro it there so it doesn't change the area. We then go and change into a set with tremor resistance and make sure our cat has the flashfly cage active. We get the cat to place the trap sort of in a corner as Brachydios is punching the ground before the final punch, so that way the trap gets placed after the area has changed. Then we lure Brachydios away from that trap so it doesn't waste it, otherwise we'll have to abandon and start again. And then we use flint shots and sleep and KOs with stickies and stuff like that to try and get Brachydios down to within capturable range, hopefully without it activating the trap. Then, all we got to do is trank it a couple of times and drag it into the trap as soon as possible afterwards. Hopefully, if we do everything right, we should be able to capture Raging Brachydios. If we don't, if we mess up any of the steps, the 20-minute hunt that we've been doing it on will be wasted and we'll have to abandon and try again from scratch. And I had to do that many times. And that's all there really is to it. All that's left is to execute. So I will leave you with the footage of the run. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry about the video format being a bit weird, by the way. I was trying something a bit different here. Something a little bit more heavily scripted, basically. Just because I was curious if I could write something. I know the jokes probably didn't land, but that's no big deal. Either way, I hope this was interesting to you. I thought I'd go over... There's a few mechanics that I've very vaguely gone over here. Not in a huge amount of detail. But I think the stuff here is interesting enough to sort of warrant coverage. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a lovely day. Take it easy. Bye-bye. Oh, and I forgot to mention, but if you check the hunter's notes, unfortunately this does not actually count as a capture. It still has a little dash there to indicate that you haven't captured it. And in Seliana, hopefully I've got a screenshot up, but you do not get Raging Brachydios in the area. It would be a bit giant, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, no, the game does not treat this as an actual capture. Funnily enough, it does give you capture rewards, though. You can see in the quest reward screen, I got 5 capture rewards, one of which was an immortal reactor. So that is curious. But yeah, it's just interesting to see. Like, we did kind of expect the quest to fail in hindsight, because it is one of those slay quests rather than like a hunt. It's the same as with Elder Dragons, where they say slay. And so probably, if you captured an Elder Dragon, I reckon the quest would fail as well somehow. Like, if via hacks you managed to capture one, it would probably fail. It is interesting that they went about it this way, though. That they decided to block it from being capturable by just preventing you from placing traps as much as possible, rather than just like flat out not letting the monster get trapped in the final area. Like, I'm not sure why they did it that way. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference, but it is curious. But yeah, anyway, that's all I had to say. Love ya.